my hobby is to look at this kind of history of technology and identity and how it gets marked and how it gets stored politically is behind this, because I think we're at a moment now where I like to think of it as, if you look at an arc, this kind of computing science and the aggregation of all this information is just getting better and stronger as machines do in some kind of way, that they build up in some way that is antithetical to being human in general. So machines just keep going and aggregating. So I have this kind of image of these mathematicians falling to the side, retiring, dying, coming up with new ones emerging. And what becomes stronger is this giant data stream which is surrounding us in one way or another. And that's kind of the background here, this kind of cage that is surrounding us.
Sure.
And that just gets stronger over time as we get weaker, I guess, you know.
So there is a sort of political undercurrent to this, you know, in the way in which people, like demonstrators, will try and disguise themselves and render the technology unusable when it comes to recognizing them.
It's interesting that you know, the hands that control this technology are going to be as frail as humans are in one way or another, and also how it's interpreted. What you're talking about here, this kind of notion that some of the machines can't actually compute certain features in the way that they're put together, I think goes to this, well, we just had up there the kind of face painting, which is looks a bit like dazzle camouflage. It's become a kind of underground activity to figure out how to make these facial designs that confuse the facial recognition systems. So I like that kind of pushback, that anybody can sort of wear their hair in a certain way or put on some kind of camouflage. And of course, you notice the guys on CCTV walking around like this.
Yeah.
This is something kind of fascinating to me.
Maybe they're just worried about technology, you know, and then...
Anti-selfie, yeah. Art is an expression of the core, but I think for me it's really always been about reaching further out of myself, you know. It's not like a fountain of, I have the answer here, you know, that it's, I'm trying to find new places to go.
Of course, and whatever happens, whatever you project or imagine the work is going to be like, when you stand amongst the figures or amongst the faces, which seem to be looking back at you or looking through you to one another, and they begin to have what seems like a conversation. What script, you know?
And hopefully
you
you're in the conversation.
Somehow, you are implicated in it, and you become part of it.
That's my fantasy, if that can happen with people, for them to really be part of it and in that conversation.
Yeah.
So maybe when we get the singularity, maybe we'll actually see what the machines have to say for themselves. Yeah.
I can't do that, Tony.
You know, we all think of ourselves as unique and complicated, but what if the whole notion of privacy and breaking the wall of privacy has to do with that we're really the same in one way or another, and that probably through this facial recognition, the notion of the self will actually change because of that in some way.
Yeah.